Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Your home for all content Lord of the Rings home. Wanted to take a video to talk about stall teams. I think you all are probably aware that at least the top ends of arena shards are using these stall teams that I've got kind of listed out here. It's often Elrond with Elrahir, Eladin, Arwen, and then Rumel. Sometimes one of these people gets replaced, like Elrahir often will get replaced with, let's say, Naramiri or Gimli. Basically, the whole point of this team is that Arwen has a cleanse and Rumel has a cleanse. And you essentially, because of Rumel's passive, you're getting so much sort of regeneration that it's really, really hard to get these teams out. And then you end up sort of stalling out after 5 minutes. It's kind of compounded by the fact that if you get blessed with the Elrahir slow-mo arrow bug, it's just, you're not going to have a fun time. But as you might have guessed from the thumbnail of this video, there's one weird trick to get around all of that, and it's Bomber. It's Bomber. Originally was working on this idea. Basically, when after Thorn came out, I was like, oh, he's got to be the solve for this stall meta. But my 5-star Thorn still couldn't punch through some of these higher end arena teams. So then I started messing around with just using Bomber. I was telling my Discord about it, and I was like, oh my god, I can climb to number 1 in Arena Shard 1 now. And, I have one Gear 10 character. Like, I have a 6-star Bomber on my main account. I'm going to go through all that. And this is the first time I've ever gotten to rank 1 in Arena Shard 1. And I told my Discord that, and then for whatever reason, just decided to not make a video about it. So I'm sure a number of you are aware of this particular method. I don't know why I didn't make a video about it. I guess because I'm not completely content brained and think that that's the thing I should be doing. But I want to make a video about it now because I think it is especially important to talk about as we expect Rumel to be dropped into a farmable location in the near future here. Then when people start putting Rumel on the Rivendell teams to have a stall defense team, you know how to beat it. So first and foremost, let's talk about what exactly I have going on in my accounts. So this is my main account, Bomber. You can see he's 4-6. Maybe you can't see. 4-6-6. 4-6-6-6. Yeah, 3 6s there. He's gear tier 9, 6 stars, and he's got, level 8 glyphs. I can probably get these up more. I probably will get these up more sooner rather than later because I find him incredibly useful, not just in arena, but also in raids. So that requires a lot of investment. And it's 6 stars, and you may be wondering, well, I just have the marquee version at 3 stars swag, so this is kind of useless information to me, right? Well, here is my free-to-play account with a 3-star Bomber. Again, 666. Let me move that up for you. I'm switching between a bunch of screens here, so give me 1 second. 4666, but gear tier 8, level 8 glyphs, 3 stars though. So it's still doable even at 3 stars. I want to show you how it's done. I don't think I'm gonna recommend one way or another in this video whether you should be doing this with a 3-star Bomber. I think there's a little bit more to it that I want to flesh out before I give you that sort of recommendation, kind of raid performances as well, because getting 3 skills up to level 6 is not a small investment, and you're putting it into a 3-star character, right? Gear tier 8 is nothing to smirk at either, and then level 8 glyphs as well. This is not a small investment. It is, I would say, a big investment. I feel okay making this investment because either way, eventually I'll get Thorin. I think he's a very integral part of the Thorin's team, but he's also relatively plug and play, and you can throw him on any team and he makes any raid team essentially better just because he can apply 2-turn slow and he can apply 2-turn haste to his team. That is the key thing I want to stress here though. Bomber does not really become effective, especially on stall teams in arena, until you get his special 1, his special 2, and his passive all maxed out. You need all of them to be maxed out because it's 2 turns. Let's see, yeah. It's disrupted on all enemies plus the haste duration. It's really the disrupted on all enemies that you really want there. The haste is nice though. And then you do want the 2-turn slow on him as well. And the passive, this extra sleep stack, I think also does really help. But you could maybe get away with leaving this at 5. Maybe. But it works best when you've got those 3 abilities maxed out. Let's talk about glyphs. I put him with triple bloodlust on both my free-to-play account and my main account. And the reason for that is because when you actually do often, there's opportunities that arise where basically you can kill somebody with his special 2, his move that he does the belly flop and the slow, and then you go again. He's a very slow character, so that like extra turn meter is at a premium. And so I think that works really, really well. But this is also the case for both my free-to-play and my pay-to-play account, my main account. I do run focus glyphs on both. I run 2 focus glyphs, and in this case I ran an armor glyph. I think on my main account, I might run armor or HP. I'm not sure. But the 2 focus glyphs are very important. So at 6 stars, I still can land a lot of my Banes on, some of these top-end arena teams in Shard 1. With 3-star, it does become a little bit dicier, I'll tell you that. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on focus. Focusing on focus. I always do that. Elra here and focusing on focus and making sure that you get secondaries that are also focused based. That really is helpful because he becomes less than useful if you don't have the ability to land the Banes. And the key Bane that you want to land, yes, the slow is very nice, especially when you can kind of pair it with the haste on your team. That's really nice, but the key thing here is inflicting the disrupt. And inflicting the disrupt, usually on Eladin, means it's kind of a game over. So I actually find that even on my free-to-play account, using Bomber is better because I don't have to worry about Eladin constantly provoking. Instead, I can block it with disrupt and then just make my way to killing, what's his face? Elrond. So I'm going to show you some arena footage now. Just close out of this. I'm going to show you 2 fights, one from my main account that's showing kind of going up against a regular stall team, and then one on my free-to-play account where I go against maybe what you would more commonly see at that level of arena, although I have done it against the stall teams there too, but the stall teams tend to be higher up in arena, and so there's a big differential in power in terms of stars there anyway, right? I have a 5-star Elrond, 6-star Arwen, and Eladin on my free-to-play account, so there's just a lot more variables going on there, but I can pretty easily cruise up higher in my free-to-play account now because of this method. So doing that team on the right, I'm going to skip through all the loading and me stalling. Not a great start. Don't land the expose. That's not good. Don't know why it's taking me so long. Gonna get rid of the might on Elra here. Again, this also works if you have Gimli on the team. This works against that type of setup as well, or Naramiri. It is very fun to put to land a bunch of Banes on Gimli, right? To land the disrupted on Gimli, and then Gimli goes, oh, to try and provoke, and just nothing comes out. That's very funny. So this initial part of the match is a little bit interesting because Arwen's going to cleanse and Rumel's going to cleanse. So what sticks and what doesn't is a little bit sketchy. You still want to do all of that because basically Elrond's leadership stops working if everybody has Banes, and so you still do want to land those Banes to kind of minimize the amount of boon extensions that you get. You notice though that I'm not even basically dealing with Eladin right there. I already got my special 2 with Elra here already into Elrond, which is key. I have started to use Arwen's special 1, the boon clear, not to save it for like when Elrond has his unbreakables up. I'm just trying to get through Eladin as quick as I possibly can now. And again, the main goal here is that you want to use the special 1 of Bomber because you get the disrupted up and you're good to go. There you go. Eladin just did a spin to win, got nothing. The other key part to this though is that the disrupted blocks the regeneration from Rumel's passive. So basically, sort of my order that I go in is I try and go for Elrond first, obviously, and then basically the team does start to collapse after that, but it can still take a while. And so the person I go after next is often Rumel or whoever is if somebody's really close to dying, then I'll go after them. But I often go after Rumel next, again, just to stop that the regeneration from getting hit with defensives. I think that that is pretty key to making this team work and stalling out. And so you just kind of want to take away those components there. Even when Bomber doesn't have his special 1-up, using the special 2 is obviously a great option because you're just getting slow back out. I do kind of find that, getting the disrupted there is so clutch because I bet that Eladin is going to do his special 1 right now. Maybe not. Maybe I mistimed it. There we go. And now I'll clear the slow. Now we'll do a slow again on them. I do often find that Elrond, when I do my slow with Elrond, it seems like Bomber has to do his slow too because he's been hit a bunch of times. There you go. Elrond is out. I guess I was wrong about the Eladin thing. We're just going to keep a bunch of slow on people. Boom. We're taking care of Eladin because he was pretty close to dying. And then we're taking care of Rumel. And then, yes, basically game over, right? That's really, really nice. This took a little bit longer than usual. These matches now, I can usually finish in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes. So with 2 minutes usually left on the clock, that's much, much better than kind of how it was before. I mean, you have like half of your time for these stall teams now. So let's talk about what happens on the free-to-play account. You see, got a bunch of arena footage here. Let's do this one. And let me go back and show you. I think I'm fighting this team here, which I think is typical of what you might see in arena, especially for my free-to-play account, is because Ironhide, right? You just have so many stars on him, and he tends to crush and do so much damage. So, again, 54k team here, 61. So we're punching up on a stall. It's not a stall team, but it's a regular sort of arena team. And I'm using a 3-star Bomber here on my free-to-play account. And again, my Elrond is 5 stars. My Arwen and my Eladin are 6 stars. Elrond here is obviously 7 stars. So whole goal here is basically the same as last time. I always try and land the expose there just to get Arwen's cleanse out early. I think that's especially useful here as well because now, one, I can do the wave. It's less than useful. It's fine. Got 2, right? Arwen cleanse. Cleansing after the wave is also very important. And then now I can apply disrupted, gets resisted, and the immunity. Not a great start, right? That's okay. Because we got slow on some of them, you know, the boon train is going to start to slow down a little bit. With the 5-star Elrond, as always, these fights are a lot testier because he has much lower health and everybody's Elra here is at 7 stars and hits like a Mack truck. So these things are a little bit dicier, obviously, with the lower stars, but I still find it works pretty effectively. Okay. Still able to get to Elrond, do our special 2. And now he is really hurting. What's awesome is if you do land disrupted on Elrond sometimes, and you bring him below that threshold where he gets unbreakable or where he should be getting nimble from Arwen's passive, it just doesn't show up. And then you don't have to worry about unbreakable, right? It's very, very nice. This is a really, really good tool to have. Okay, so now the name of the game is just, we're going to have to get through Eladin's provokes again here. That's okay. It helps that our Eladin goes right after their Eladin. And we're back on Elrond. And one more should do it. And now the team is going to basically fall apart. I'm going to give myself a little bit of healing because everybody on my side is very, very low. And I am still a little bit worried about the amount of damage that Ironhide can put out. God, their Eller here hits pretty hard. Yep, so I decide to stall the wave and instead just make sure I heal. I don't want to have my team crumble and then have this, you know, go to shit at the last second here. All right, I decided to go with the slow. I think that was because I felt that a good number of people had speed up. The thing is, it does, his special 1, yes, gives you haste, but it doesn't give you haste to everybody. And often I will find sometimes we'll give haste to the same person, even though the person already has haste, right? And the reason it doesn't give haste to everybody is it normally gives haste to Thorn's company members, and then I believe 2 extra at max level. Could be wrong there. You can see, yeah, basically after Elrond's gone, you just kind of have to clinch it, bring it home, don't fumble at the finish line, and then you're good to go. So that's kind of just what I wanted to show you. This is how I beat the stall meta. Not sure why I didn't make a video about it before, since I was telling my Discord all about it, and I think one of the first people to do it. That's it from me. I hope this is useful, especially as Rumel becomes farmable. I think this will become a lot more useful. And you can see even at 3 stars, he does work in Arena. I'm going to make another video about whether he is completely worth bringing up at 3 stars. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.